Your Board of Education meeting actually at 7:33. Before we do roll call, I would like to have a motion to approve the revised agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hookrattle,
Second.
second by Mr. Sims, to approve the revised agenda. Roll call, Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle,
Yes.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Mr. Sim,
Yes.
Dr. Walter, Mr. Moore.
Number one, public hearing, review of the school calendar. Any questions for that? Anybody? All right, number two. Ms. Boyer, would you call the roll call, please?
Mr. Hookrattle,
Here.
Mr. Moore, Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Mr. Sims,
Here.
Dr. Walter.
All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item D, the school board allows public participation at board meetings. Is there anybody who would like to speak at this time? Seeing none. Item E, recognition. Do we have any recognitions this evening? Not seeing any. Refreshments. Should we, how about we skip the refreshments for a minute? We'll go straight to item G with the athletic department update. Janet Class.
All right, guys, thanks for having me tonight. So let's do a quick recap on some things. I always do by the numbers. So again, we have 89 coaching positions here. We're up to 33 teams up in the high school, 21 teams down in the middle school. Lots of coaches certifications reviewed, hanging on the percentages of our athletes by demographics, so that's pretty good. Budget, we definitely have some hurdles to get over this coming year. So as I've been reporting over the last several years, we just keep falling into the era of not so much increase in revenue, but big expense increases, percent increases in my primary expenses, which is officials and transportation. So from back in 2018-19, my second year here, our total revenue was around 124, and we're estimating around 140 this year in gate and other fees coming in. When we look at expenses, again, primarily officials and transportation, back in, again, my second year, we're around 60,000, and we're up to an approximated 97,000 this year. My transportation bill in the fall was up over 20,000, first time ever, and it just continues to grow from that. So officials we had that large spike a couple years ago. They have leveled off somewhat, but right now we have more teams, so we're paying more officials as well. When we look at the revenue coming in from our particular teams, not a whole lot difference. This is 25-26, this is 24-25. So when we look at our fall sports are relatively the same, around $45,000 in income coming in at our gates. Boys and girls basketball, we're a little bit down primarily because it's not just basketball, but we have wrestling in here. We only hosted one home meet this year. Just the dates didn't fall right with our current wrestling schedule with an open gym. So we only hosted our one senior night this year, so that kind of hurts a little bit. And then spring, I'm guessing we'll be right on track with that number as it comes in. So it shows that we're a little down. I think we'll be relatively the same in regards to our gate admissions coming in. Continue to struggle out here at our middle school fields with all of our sports out here. So the cross country meets that we have, soccer, middle school football, you just have people coming in from a lot of different ways. So tracking those people down and getting them to honor our gate is difficult in that sense. So I think we could impact our budget a little bit if we do try to control that a little bit. Going into league updates, majority of people know that we are looking at different things in regards to our league and our opportunities. This is part of the proposal that we put out with our main arguments being We are at an increased injury risk because we're playing schools that are much larger than us. And for those out here in the peanut gallery, one of the examples that I gave at our last meeting as part of the discussion is Liberty Union with our current EMIS numbers, which I'll show here in a little bit. We were 60 off of Millersport, which was the school that was brought up. And I had to share with their, I'm sorry, not Millersport, Miller, which was the smallest school in the Cardinal Division at the time. And I, had to point out that the next school closest to us was around 60 larger than us, with Logan being about 300 boys larger than us. Because when you talk about EMIS competitive balance, they tend to look at boys football numbers in their comparisons when you talk league. So because of that, we feel that there's increased injury risk for our athletes because, quite frankly, we're putting kids out that shouldn't be out there, whether they're underclassed, whether they're playing both ways. The danger of fatigue. Fatigue is the number one cause of injury in adolescent athletes, and it creates unsafe matchups. So those are our primary arguments going in as to why we want to make this change, because that number difference is just too great for us to overcome. So when we look at our projections, these were our numbers back in 2022. So when Taze Valley left and they were looking at either Waverly or Chillicothe coming in, we all got down to Amanda together and met, and our number at that time with competitive balance was 161. Again, this is a boys football number. In 2025 with competitive balance, we are at 144. In 2026, our EMIS score fell to 127. Now that's without competitive balance. Of course, those competitive balance numbers won't be released until a little bit later this summer. So if you use our 2025 competitive balance numbers, that lands us at about 132, which is an 18% decrease in growth. Primarily probably caused from we don't open enroll anymore, so those numbers are coming down as those kids graduate out, and our competitive balance numbers therefore keep falling along with our EMIS numbers. So these were the projections that we gave out. So this first slide shows our 2025 numbers, again, football division that we're looking at. The schools in red are the Cardinal Division, Buckeye Division. The schools that are not highlighted are the Cardinal Division, and you can see that we are second largest in what would be the Cardinal Division. We have Harvest Prep and Grove City Christian that are larger than us, and then when these new numbers came out, okay, and we add the 2025 competitive balance numbers to the 2026 EMIS scores, we are still third largest in what would be the Cardinal Division, but we're 4 off from Vernon Union, okay, and then I'm not sure what's happening here, but if you look at the 2025 numbers, both Fairfield Christian and Bishop Rosecrans have reduced significantly. So I don't know if that was an error in their EMIS scores, because again, there's a period of time where you can correct those. But big changes here, not so much in these areas, but we are very close to the Vernon Union at this point, and which is why we're looking at some different options. Back to budget. So when we look at different budget scores here, this is our 24, 25. You can see that I ended in a negative, roughly around $12,000 last year. And that is just what is earned in a year. That's not what was carried over. There's always a carryover. So that number was, I think I had like $1,000 to spare this year coming in. But that's difficult to start an athletic department in August without income on $1,000. When we look at this year, the number is much, much higher. And again, for a lot of reasons, we look at our transportation in the fall compared to my transportation last year. Not sure why there's such a large gap, but that's what I paid. So there's some different areas in there. The equipment expenses have gone up along with that. And again, our gate and our revenue has not changed. The league hasn't changed their gate numbers, and we haven't changed our pay to play. So my revenue is not going to go much further, but my expenses continue to decline. When we look at participation by the numbers, this is a slide I show every year. We look at the different classes that we have coming through, and you can see we always see somewhat of a downward trend. We get into middle school, we have very high numbers, kids are trying out different sports, new sports, and they do tend to taper off as they get into high school. And we're seeing a large tapering at junior and senior year, particularly senior year. And I think a lot of times, a lot of our senior athletes aren't on campus. Well, we have kids, multiple kids that just don't take any classes here at the high school. They're all CCP driven, they're driven kids. I can't blame them for trying to take their CCP classes, but they're just not around. And their buy-in, especially with athletics, that takes a lot of time out. I think, Sean, we had a conversation earlier this year. We're seeing kids that don't want to spend 2-3 hours at practice. They're going to pick a sport that's either much shorter or just simply not play a sport. So that has impacted our numbers a little bit here recently. And hopefully that's just a trend that'll turn around. So, a look back from my first year here to now. A lot of things have changed. So this was a Google slide back from 2017 with all the original field. Your field is still turned. We have a 6-lane track and looks nice, but looks a whole lot better. So we've really cleaned up those areas down there. Parking lots are new. High school looking very good. We're getting a lot of compliments as teams come in. When we look at specific areas, we started in the gym. So the old gym, the old 88 bleachers. The padding is new for my era there, so the floor had been redone as well at the time, but this is part of the disassembly there. And the replacement bleachers that we have in the gym, the padding, obviously the paint on the floor, and then the overall look in the gym has been updated, so looking good. When we go down to the Linscott complex, this is a shot from our baseball field just after we took the fence and the dugouts down. So looking up the hill, if you guys remember, Booker Hill was much, much larger than what it is now, just with the construction that was taken out. And of course, this is what we're looking at with additional improvements going in with the irrigation, the drainage lines, and some things coming up. We have a pretty doggone pretty facility out there. It's just beautiful out there. So looking down at the softball field, same thing, just not the same. Remember that? It was ragtag back in the day. That fence and the bleachers that were in the surround, I think had been removed before I got here. You know, we have the batting cages down here in that open field to what we have now is a significant difference down there. When we look at the stadium itself, we put up some new lights. This is the old track that we were working on, some lights, getting some LEDs onto the field. This is our old bleachers and home grandstand. And then we started the construction. So we have our field house, a practice football field, beautiful locker room facility, and then our 8-lane track and home grandstand that went in with the press box on the other side. Again, just leads for an impressive, especially if you're standing up on that softball view and you're looking at it. It's just gorgeous. So that is our campus over at the high school. When we come over here to the middle school, we still have some work to do. So we have our soccer field out here, and these 4 pictures were taken at the same time as the pictures of the high school. We do have irrigation. You can see the lines coming up here. The difference is soccer likes to play soccer games at 2 1/4 inches, which really just dries out that grass. It does look poor in the season, but there is a lot of grass there. We put some work in with our soccer huts. Back in, I think 1920, I think it was just prior to COVID, or we ordered them during, or we ordered them during COVID and then they went in. And then we have obviously
I'm paying attention, April.
the soccer huts.
No, you said 1920.
19 years.
20 years ago.
Little year. And then this is the middle school football field. Again, we've moved the bleachers over out of the press box up in there, and this is an overall shot. This is a large part of our cross-country course. Cross-country starts here, kind of takes off up this way. They loop back around through the church, through the woods. They come back out here, and they run down and do a smaller loop back around to the finish line. So I think that's one of the largest opportunities that we would have to grow and earn cash is hosting cross-country, because a lot of schools just don't have cross-country courses anymore. We have a nice one. It's a matter of, again, just trying to get the facilities up to speed. Our biggest challenge up there is the lack of bathrooms. All right, and finally, we have quite a few kids. We sat down not too long ago and talked about the kids that are playing collegiately at this point. So I just wanted to kind of share some of those because it's amazing how many we have. So we have Mr. Keegan McKinney. He's a hammer, shot, and disc athlete down at Rio Grande. We have Allison Sponseller, who is a pole vaulter at Susquehanna. I think I said that correctly. We have Miss Emma Wolf, who went to Louisville for rowing and has ended up on a volleyball team. We have Peyton Hocrado at Muskegon playing softball. We have Miss Abby Riddle playing basketball at Wright State. Caroline Burlingame playing volleyball at Elon University. Jimmy Rhodes is still going at it, buddy. He is will probably be back at the Olympic trials again this year. He is really hitting his marks at Washington. He started at Penn and is now over at Washington. We have Slade McClaskey at Ashland. Of course, we have Jacob Miller, can't forget about him. We have Emily Putnam playing softball up at Capitol. We have Mr. Caleb Haig running track up at Ashland. We have Miss Ava Wolf, who is playing volleyball at Otterbein. We have Miss Morgan Love, who's playing basketball down at Wilmington. We have Sam Howell, just finished up his senior year of football up at Otterbein. We have Savannah Howell, who was playing, she had up in Lufton, I think, to start, and ended up at Muskegon playing soccer. And then we have Jaden Roach that's finishing up her cross-country track career at Rio. And then we have Bobby Savage that is down at Hockey College. We have a few others that have played past high school. I couldn't find pictures for them. And Emily Blackstone at one point was playing volleyball down at Muskegon. And we had Alex Johnson that was playing at Wright State Lake campus that here is actually transferring down to Hockey College here. So we had a few, and I may have missed these. We were trying to brainstorm. These are the ones that we came up with, but there might be a few others out there that I'm super proud of. All of those athletes that have been able to advance their careers. A lot of them on scholarship to their colleges. So that is my report. So unless anybody has any questions.
Anybody? Thank you, Janet.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Grab a snack, get clean, take a couple minutes, and get started. All right, so we're gonna take just a couple minutes, brief, grab a cookie, then come back and sit down. And then we're gonna get right back at it. Item 3, discussion and approval of minutes. I have a motion to approve March 9th and March 23rd meetings.
So moved. Second.
Sims, Mr. Hookrattle to approve minutes of the March 9th, 2026 regular board meeting and the March 23rd, 2026 special board meeting as printed. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle,
Yes.
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Mr. Sims.
Yes.
Item 4, monthly financials. Boyer?
Okay, you get our monthly financial report. I like to just jump to
Page 4.
page 7.
Oh, 7. I feel like you always say page 4.
She's in a hurry.
Okay.
Did it get moved?
Somebody late.
Yeah.
In at page 7.
It looks like
7's the part,
5.
right?
My pages got
That's
mixed
what.
up.
So.
You're right, it is page 4.
Can somebody write that down back there? Can you write that down?
Gotcha.
Thank you, sir.
Page 4.
Page 4. I knew where she was going. She always goes to page 4. I pay attention.
Is it page 4?
That's our revenue page.
Well, no, but
I
it looks
mean-
like the page numbers are incorrect.
Actual
So we
revenue
have
for the
page
month was
4,
down.
page 5, and 2 page 6s is the problem.
Page 4 is your revenue page. Yeah, there is.
Page 4 is the revenue page. I'm going to page 6, the first
ma'am.
page 6.
Okay.
This is the one that actually bases it off of our forecast. And last board meeting, the regular board meeting, I was saying how the property taxes were really swayed because of it coming in a month later. And now it's all right where it should be again. The only one that shows that it's behind is the public utilities, and that's because it's now a month behind. It came in April. Normally it's in March. And it'll come in, it's like 36,000 off from what we had guessed for it to be. And then the second page 6 is our interest income. And then page 7, we're at 75% of the year. And we're at about 75% of all our revenues to 100%. The public utilities, again, that's where it came in late. It'll be right back up there with the others. Then you have our reconciliation. And then you have our disbursements. And on page 3, down towards the bottom, check 106917 to Feeney Industrial Roofing for $94,500. That was for emergency layover of the auditorium roof at the high school due to the hail damage. And that came from our 070 Capital Improvement Fund. And then we have page 9, right in the middle. Check 107055 to Peak Technology Solutions for $30,300, and that was for 3 servers, and that came from the general fund. Then you have the changes to the 018s, 200s, and 300s, and the donations. We have $340.79 from Kroger Community Rewards to middle school principal, $173.76 miscellaneous donations from the high school to the high school principal, $250 from Michael and Huberta Johnson to high school musical, $100 from Michael and Huberta Johnson to FFA, $1,615.13 from the LUPTO to the elementary school principal, and $275.73 miscellaneous donations to high school musical. And that's what I have.
Item E, vote to approve monthly financials. Do I have a motion? O'Connell, I'll second. To approve monthly financial statements as printed above. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Mr. Sims,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Number 5, financial permanent appropriations for the fiscal year 2026. Item B, any questions on that? No. Item B, service provider. Have a frontline education for the $5,734.80. Apathy, website communication platform for $13,440. Frontline education for budget management and analysis for $42,8641. Financial planning analytics, for $13,286.84. Frontline education for applicant tracking, $3,101.90. Sedwick for workers' comp administration, $1,140. Item C, school meal pricing for 2026-27. High school and middle school, $3.50. Elementary lunch is $3.25. Student breakfast, $1.75. Reduced lunch, breakfast is free for 40 cents. Adult lunch is $4.50. Adult breakfast is $2.25. And milk is 50 cents. Food service vendors. Through our membership with Meta Solutions, the district has bid for bread, dairy, and kitchen food products for our school cafeteria. The food service supervisor recommends the following providers: Klosterman Baking Company for the bread products, United Dairy for the dairy products, and Gordon Food Service for kitchen supplier. Item E, vote to approve financial section. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Sims, Mr. Hookrattle, to approve items in the financial section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Shook,
Yes.
Mr. Sims,
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Item 6, personnel, employment. Molly McGuire Simpson, permanent daily sub, 1 year finite graph or contract, bachelor's step 0 for the beginning 8/12 of 26 through 5/27 of 27 for 185 days per our MOU with Liberty Union-Thurston Education. Item B, classified contracts. I'm not going to read that list. As you look down through there, there's transportation, there's the secretaries, food service, all through that. Classified 2-year contract. Also, you have transportation, school nurses, food service. In that section, classified salary notices, staff members listed below were approved for a 2-year contract beginning with the 2025-26 school year. Salary notice will be provided for the 2026-27 school year. Nicole Clark, school RN, step 16, Matthew Ewing, transportation, step 2, Stephanie George, transportation for bus, step 5, and Michelle Grant, food service for step 2. 1-year classified contracts, John Brad McCormick, aide paraprofessional, step 1. Item C, extended days. Change in teaching assignment per the collective bargaining agreement with the Liberty Union-Thurston. Contract Article 21D. So Chuck Charles Bauer, 6th grade science teacher to 6th grade math teacher, 5 days for change in assignments, effective March 17, 2026. Item D, we have resignation. Natalie Brait, science teacher, middle school, resignation, effective June 1st, 2026. Mark Lane, engineering technology teacher, high school, resignation, July 31st of 2026. Stephanie Pond, English teacher, middle school, resignation, effective June 1st, 2026. Certified substitute list, and Cassidy Harmon, Andrea Johnson, Jamie Johnson, Caleb Hansom, and Beth Bolyard. F, classified substitutes. Barry Smur. Item G, vote to approve personnel section. Do I have a motion to approve?
Some,
Mr. Hookrattle,
second.
Mr. Sims. To approve items in the personnel section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Sims.
Yes.
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes. Item 7, other items, FFA National Convention and FFA Camp. Dates are October 21st to October 24th, 2026. Transportation will be Pioneer Trails Incorporated for $5,200. Lodging will be Fairfield by Marriott, Caramel, Indiana, $193 per room, approximately 16 rooms. Chaperones will be teachers and parents. Student cost, $300 per student. FFA advisors cost, 2 teachers at $500 each and hotel expenses. FFA camp at Muskingum, Camp Muskingum. The dates for that are June 1st through the 5th, 2026. Transportation, Liberty Union School buses. Lodging would be the Iowa FFA Camp Muskingum. Chaperones would be the FFA advisors. Student cost, $300 student, paid by CTE funds. And FFA advisor costs, 2 teachers at $100 each. Item B, resolution to implement paper-based OSP for grade 3. Item C, ratify membership in the Compliance Consulting National Purchasing Consortium. Item D, resolution authorizing the negotiation and execution of the agreement with Finney Industrial Roofing Incorporated for the roof replacement project.
Bottom of page 13, yeah, the
Yeah, I was thinking if there was a. Make sure I'm right here, the contractor's proposal for this project for Finney for the roofs is $1,205,000 for the elementary hail damage replacement, $1,302,000 for the high school flat roof replacement and overlay, $5,210 for the middle school flashing repair, and $32,790 for the board office shingle replacement, for a total not to exceed the amount of $2,545,000. Item E, school calendar. Superintendent recommends approval of the 28 and 29 school calendar. You guys have that attachment. Item F, disposal technology. Superintendent requests permission to dispose of obsolete and unrepairable technology, Chromebooks, etc. Item G, MOU with Columbus State Community College, College Credit Plus 2026-2027. Item H, Miss Brandon Foods and Cultivated Protein Food Products, second reading. Item I is vote to approve other items. Do I have a motion? Hook rattle, second by Shook. To approve items in the other items section. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Mr. Sims.
Yes.
Item 8, other matters as may properly come before the board. Is there anybody that has anything? If not, item 9, executive session. Executive session is requested by the superintendent. A2 and E. A2, employment, and E, matters required to be kept confidential by the federal law and regulation of state statutes. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Sims,
Second.
second by Hook Rattle. Go into executive session at
8:09.
8:09. Ms. Boyer?
Mr. Hookrattle.
Yes.
Mr. Shook.
Yes.
Mr. Sims.
When we return from our executive session, we'll be not voting on anything, we're just closing out the meeting.